How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, hi. I'm Anders from Funeral, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just perfect. Where are you located?
Great. I'm in my car, actually.
No, you're in what part of the world are you in?
I'm close to Oslo.
Oh, okay, cool. So, Is it 24 hours of darkness yet?
Almost. It's getting there. Couple of months, it's pretty close, yeah.
And then you got a couple months of that, right?
You have to go further north if it's going to be dark the whole day. Here it's light, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
At its darkest, yeah.
Right. So let's talk about Funeral. Let me ask you a quick question then. Let me backtrack for 1 second. Do you think that being from that part of the world and that sort of climate aids in putting out this sort of doom-laden music?
Well, I think it's a good question. I think maybe it's it has to do with both weather, darkness.
Right.
I think we use more time inside, so you sort of have the time to go full on nerd thing,
Right.
Maybe it has something to do with that. Of course, plus the inspiration from nature.
Right.
At least for me personally, it's very important.
Okay. So let's talk about Gospel of Bones then. Now that it's out and amongst us, how do you feel about it, and are you satisfied with the outcome?
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. We worked really, really hard on this album, probably harder than any previous albums. Just recording the orchestration took, several months. I wrote probably all the songs during the COVID lockdown. So I spent that time pretty wisely, I think. And I think it turned out great. The sound is, I'm very satisfied with the production. It's a detailed mix. You can hear everything pretty nice, I think.
I'm a Doom fan from like way back. I mean, I think my gateway into metal was like one of the first Trouble albums, or maybe even the first Trouble album.
Yeah.
So yeah, this stuff sort of resonates with me, and I think it's great. But if it was recorded or written during the pandemic, is it difficult to hold on to it that long and finally see it come to light? What are we, 3 years away? 3 years out?
Yeah. It's been a long journey, but I think we had the album ready a year ago. We could actually had it released a year ago, but there's always obstacles in at the label side, and I write songs, I write riffs all the time, so I actually have 12 new songs ready for yet another album.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, we have started working on that. So if it's up to me, we can release yet another album within a year.
Oh wow.
But unfortunately, it's up to the label.
Yeah. So are
Yeah.
those songs that you're working on now for the new stuff, are they left over from the one that's just coming out, or do you, when you write, do you start over
Yeah.
from scratch?
No, it's both. It's leftover tracks from that, the COVID period, and it's totally new tracks. So it's
Gotcha.
I think I have about 12 songs ready. So we have to obviously pick out the right ones for an album. That's
Right.
that's a task on its own, really.
And it's a task putting them in the right order, right? Sequencing them.
Exactly. So I use quite a lot of time just picking out the right songs to make a whole album, and not an album with a lot of different tracks, but you have to have the right atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think that I know we're off on tangents everywhere here today, but I think that's what's missing in a lot of music today, right? Everything is 30 seconds. There's no thought given to the ebbs and flows of a full record.
Yeah, exactly. And we write I write pretty long tracks as well. So I think that Gospel of Bones is about 66, 67 minutes, and I think there's 70 minutes tops on a CD. So I like writing an album and give the listener an experience.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think that's missing. When you're writing, are you writing with a certain message in mind, like what you want your fans to take away from after hearing it, or are you just writing?
Oh, it's all by instinct. It's all I pretty much write for myself, really. I don't give that a thought at all. But of course, I want to top the previous album and write stronger songs. So it's a challenge, and I love working with that.
Do you try and differentiate between releases, the writing style of the sound, without losing your funeral audience? You still don't want to write Gospel of Bones again, right?
Exactly. I work very very hard on not copying myself. So the next record will be a bit different, more progressive, maybe, probably more clean guitars, maybe even darker.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Yeah, the world hasn't gotten much brighter since the pandemic, so I can see that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're kind of in this weird overall darkness no matter where we go, I guess.
Yeah. I try to write music to reflect that, really.
And I think, I say it a lot on the show, but I think music has always had a way of reflecting the times, right? You had the 60s with all the protests shining a mirror on society. You've had, the 70s with Vietnam and all that stuff. And I think, even still what you're saying is very real. It shines a light back on society, and it's almost like a time capsule of that time as well, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Writing the lyrics as well. I think it's important to write credible lyrics. It has to be believable. It's therefore I write very personal stuff.
Do
Things
you ever feel like it's too personal?
Probably. So yeah, probably at least some parts. Definitely, yeah.
So do you worry about like what people are gonna say or think and go, holy shit, I didn't know he thought that, or do you just go into it and not worry about it or be concerned with it?
Yeah, it has crossed my mind. Fortunately, my mother hasn't heard it, and she's really not interested. So
So you're
I'm
safe
dodging
there.
that bullet.
Right.
Yeah,
Is this something you're planning on taking out on the road?
absolutely. We are working on that right now. Actually, we just signed a new deal with a promoter a couple of days ago with Death Over Rome in Italy. You know, they have, amongst others, the Danish band Saturnus. So
Hmm.
we'll definitely tour much more than we have done earlier.
Is this something that I mean, I could see this being very thematic on stage or theatric. Is that something you're considering?
You know, it comes natural for our singer Eirik. You know, he works at the opera.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he's
It's in his
how
bones.
should I put it? A pretty dramatic personality. So it
Right.
comes very natural. So it's not we don't rehearse that kind of thing as a show. It's just very natural, I think.
Okay. What do you guys have next then?
We're playing a release party in a month in Oslo, November 29th. And apart from that, we are trying to do a mini tour here in Norway, in the
Hmm.
bigger cities. And of course, our guy in Italy has started working on getting us abroad. So it's
Oh,
probably Italy
nice.
first. Yeah.
Are you shoot, I just forgot what I was going to say. Um, oh, are you planning on doing the more singles and more and video kind of stuff, or is it just going to
Yeah,
be the first
yeah.
one or
Actually, we
two?
are. Yeah, we are working on that as we speak. Actually, there is one 18-minute track with Jon, the singer from Hamferd.
Hmm.
He's doing a guest vocal appearance on that particular track. Uh, it's starting to get there, so I hope the label will release it as a standalone single,
Right.
maybe in January, February. And we have
Okay.
just recorded an acoustic version of the 7-track Når kisten senkes, the
Oh,
whole
wow.
acoustic. Yeah,
Right. And if fans want to find you guys, can you give us all your socials and that sort of thing?
yeah. It's if I remember correctly, Funeral Norway on Facebook, Funeral Band or Funeral Norway on Instagram. I think I'm not very
Okay.
much into that, but I think they think that's the right address.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, my friend. I really do love the record. Like I said, I'm an old school Doom fan.
Thank you
And
very much.
it's nice to find like, bands that are carrying that tradition along because they don't all stay that way or remain active or relevant. But, there's a handful that are still out there doing some really good stuff for that movement anyway. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the record. And I know you said the States. Maybe we'll see you over here.
I really hope so. Absolutely.
All right. Take care, my friend.
You too. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.